How old are you?
6.
Do you have lots of friends at school?
Yes.
Do your friends all look like you?
No.
No? And does your teacher look like you?
No.
My name is Sam. I'm originally from China. This is my 8th year in the United States. I couldn't say I have bad experience in college, but just feels like most of the people doesn't really care about us. Like in high school, teacher will have like specific class for us, or they will help us more specifically. But here, just everything you're on your own.
Ellen Aykroyd. I taught kindergarten for 30 plus years, and I was also a speech therapist by training. A number of Hmong children who came from the like Vietnam and Laos area, and then I also had Hispanic children from Mexico. I would say very few were bilingual, but it was mostly their birth language. We had our ESL teacher who was Hispanic herself, and then we had her for a few years, and they'd be pulled out of class, and that's if the ESL teacher was there that day, that they were supposed to be taken, and if they were in school, and they wouldn't be taken every day, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. The ESL teacher told me, she said, it takes them a good 7 years to even, like, just get a grasp on the English language. English is hard. We have rhyming. Spanish, they have no idea what rhyming is. It's like, what's rhyming? And that's that's another disadvantage. When you test these children or evaluate them, that's one of the criteria in kindergarten if they hear how words rhyme. Like bee, knee, see, and tree. That doesn't mean anything to them. There was nothing enforced, but I would always try to buddy up one of my higher kids with better speaking skills. I mean, we're talking 5-year-olds, 5 and 6-year-olds, 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. And so I would try to have them with 1 or 2 other children who spoke English. And then I had high expectations for my children. And I guess I would keep them close to me. And then if I was teaching a new concept, I would ask the ESL teacher the words in Spanish to see if I could, translate it for them so they could make the connection. I mean, we were a family, and I set the tone from the beginning of the first day of how they were expected, how we treated each other. Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably could have gone on my own and taken classes and paid for it myself. Oh, changes definitely need to happen. The education system needs more money. I was just so glad I got out before core curriculum came in, because I would have just shut my door and done what I thought was the right thing for the little ones.
students. We have a portion of students in our county that are of non-American nationality. 860-ish students who are assessed using the English Learners Assessment called WIDA, which is the World Class Instructional Design Assessment. I'm sure that there's a lot more that are not identified because the way that students are identified is by self-identification. Parents identify students who come in. The largest portion of our students are from Burma, like a world-class instructional design assessment. And for that assessment, they have to demonstrate that they can read, not just fluently, but then comprehend the English language. And again, since I work in special education, many of the students that go through English learning programs and special education programs take the WIDA every single year because they don't demonstrate that comprehension easily. But typically students who don't struggle with learning, they hit a window of opportunity, a window of learning, and then they start picking up the second language very fast. When you look at students who have a whole nother language that they're trying to learn, they're often looked at as potentially having a learning difference. So special education is my area that I work in mostly, and we're asked to assess students who are English learners often, and we take that into account and go through lots of training and so forth. Our psychologists do, and social workers, to help kind of decipher if it's a language barrier or if it's a disability. Per the law, we're required to make sure that we provide interpreters to help a student learn, which is the right thing to do. We see a lot of biases, and I think that many of them truly are unconscious biases, or I don't think we mean to, but it is important to honor the culture of all of our students. We also have Title VI, which has to do with making sure that we service students who come to us that don't have a birth certificate. They may not have a social security number, and we can't require them to have that. Those things. That's really good because that didn't used to be in place. We also are required to assess and provide intervention to every student, whether they speak English, don't speak English, have a disability or not. And then now there's new regulations saying that every teacher has to be trained in understanding how to teach students who are English learners. And that's brand new. We haven't even started looking into how we're going to get all of our teachers trained. And I say how, I'm talking about the cost of that and so forth, because a lot of things that are come through regulation aren't always funded right away or at all, which is fine. I feel fortunate though, because our teams have already been through English learner training and PSYOP training, and it's been something right on our radar. But we definitely need to take more steps in helping English learners.
Wir wollen nur lernen. Noi vogliamo solo imparare. We just want to learn.